We're getting up close and personal with all your favorite celebrities on the hottest weekend party show in the city, the Abbie Knights Show.
What's up, y'all?
You're listening to all the hits on the number one party show in the city, the Abbie Knights Show.
Tell a friend.
What's going on, everybody? And we're back. We have an amazing guest on the show today, Chanel West Coast. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Can't complain. It's fall. It's my favorite season.
Yes, it is fall finally.
Right? I thought it was never going to get here. It was like hurricanes, 95 degrees, and then it dropped to like 40s where I'm at. And I was like, okay, this is happening.
It's not that cold here yet, but it's like finally it's not feeling like a heat wave. You know, it's been like 100 for the past like month, I feel like.
Right, which is, I mean, I feel like it's nice. It's good to have the contrast, but then after a while, it's kind of like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to move on to something else.
Exactly. It's October now. I'm like, can we just get into like the fall vibes a little bit out here?
Just a little bit. So you've had a lot going on in your life. For those of you that aren't familiar with Chanel, I mean, she kind of does it all. I'm like, really, what don't you do? But obviously, we got to talk about motherhood. You're pregnant. Congratulations. You're having a baby.
Thank you so much.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited, but also so nervous. I'm like, I keep having like nightmares about giving birth, which is like stressing me out a little bit. It just like started like the closer it gets. Now I'm like having dreams about it every other night.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like, you know, I'm not the best with pain and all that. So the actual, you know, giving birth situation is what I'm a little nervous about, but I'm just so excited to see my baby girl. Like, I cannot wait.
I feel like that's the one part that every woman kind of freaks out about. They say the first time is the worst, and then if you have any other babies after that, you already know what's going down.
Yeah.
But that feels kind of scary, though. Is that like your biggest fear about being a new mom?
I would say that's my biggest fear is just the actual process of giving birth. I think like I'm great with kids. I've always been great with all my friends' kids and with babies. Like I think like because I like, you know, naturally just giggle when I see a baby, like my laugh makes babies laugh. And so like I know that I'm going to be good with my baby. I think she's going to be like a very chill baby because I was known for being a chill baby. My boyfriend was a chill baby, so I'm like having faith she's going to be chill. It's literally just the process of giving birth. That's the only thing that scares me a drop.
Like just minor detail. Got to get the baby out. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you, though. So what are you looking forward to most about having a little girl? That's always kind of been my dream. I always wanted to have a little girl. So I feel like that's got to be super exciting for you, right?
It's very exciting. I'm just like, I cannot wait to just see what she naturally, you know, falls into doing and being into. Like, you know, everybody tells me that when I was little, like I was like singing and dancing and obsessed with the TV when I was like 2, 3. So like they were already like, okay, she's going to do something in entertainment of some sort because I was just always so enamored by all that. So I just can't wait to see like what she naturally falls into doing and really help her support her dreams. Like, you know, I had a single mom. My mom worked a lot. And, you know, I'm excited to just be able to spend time with my child and like really just help her follow her dreams and do what she wants to do in life.
Yeah, and that's going to be finding the balance with everything that you do and a baby is going to be crazy at the beginning.
I already know, but it's so weird. Like, I really am just like thanking God because normally we have like a little bit of like a 3-month hiatus from Ridiculousness around these months. And this time we're on a longer hiatus. So we're not going to be going back to filming for like 5 months. I don't even know how I got lucky with that at this time. It was just like fate from God. And I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. Because I will have a decent amount of time with the baby now without having to worry about waking up at 5:30 a.m. again, you know, for early call times. And so I got really, really lucky. And I'm like very grateful to God because I feel like it was like him being like, we already know you can't do this, girl.
Let's give you a little extra support.
Yeah, I feel like God was like, I already know if she has to be up at night with the baby, she is not going to be having fun on these early call times.
I love that. That's when you know it's meant to be. Everything just kind of aligns and you're like, yes, I can breathe a little bit. And at least you can get into the habit of not sleeping and getting used to not sleeping before you have to go back to work.
Exactly.
That's what my friends say anyway. I don't have any kids, but they're like, it's like 2 hours on, 2 hours off. But I'm so excited for you. Have you guys picked a name yet?
We kind of have picked a name. It's been quite the struggle. Like I always say, I'm like, I feel like if I wasn't on TV and like kind of in a spotlight, like it wouldn't be as much pressure, but it's just like everybody's out here picking these super unique names, and it's like when Kylie named her baby Stormy, everybody was like, oh my god, Stormy. And like other people with like it's just like so much competition. It's not like when we were kids, it was a lot more common names. Like everybody kind of just had like I think at 1 out of 50 names. Now it's like you got to name your kid like something so unique that nobody else has it. And so that's just been the struggle, is trying to find something unique, but also that's not too crazy, because we don't want to be like, we don't want to be like how Elon Musk and what's her face Grimes named the baby like numbers and
oh no, that's not it.
Yeah, we're not trying to go that crazy and unique, but we definitely want something that stands out and like has a cool meaning. So we're down to like 2 or 3 names, and we're gonna like in these next couple weeks finally lock it down.
Do you think that you'll decide before she's actually born, or you think that once you see her you'll know which name is going to be the right one?
It's funny. I wanted to have it before because I thought it'd be cute to like get her like custom little, like shirts or blankies that say her name on it. And then I had a lot of people tell me, they're like, when you see her, you might feel like, oh, actually she's more this name or more that name. And so some people were advising me like, just wait till the day you see her and it's just going to hit you like that's her name.
Yeah. And it's funny because, Kylie Jenner went through that when she was trying to call her baby Wolf. And everybody was on her about that. They're like, Wolf, why are you calling your baby that? Oh, celebrities, celebrity baby names. It's like one of those things. But I mean, I feel like
I think that's a cool name.
Wolf. Yeah. I think she changed the baby's name though, didn't she?
We don't know what it is yet though. I literally looked the other day to be like, did she like release a name yet finally?
And nothing, right?
Yeah, no. So she still hasn't announced what they changed it to.
I'm trying to find out what that is too. So we'll both have to wait around and see the reveal, and then we'll just wait for you to have your baby and reveal the name too. Because don't worry, I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
Thank you.
It's always like, so what's the baby's name? And it's like none of your business. But with the way things are in the world now, especially too. I don't know if you've had any conversations with your friends about dating, but dating is crazy right now. So what was it like for you finally finding love? Dom Fennison is your boyfriend. You've been together for how long now?
Let me think about this. We started dating last year, so it was very new. But yeah, I'd say like almost 2 years.
You look so in love and so happy. What was that like? Were you expecting to find love with him? Did you think he was going to be someone you were going to want to build a family in the future with? Or did everything just kind of happen as time went along?
It's really crazy. Like, I don't know if you've seen those memes or like whatever. Like, I follow all these like little spiritual advice, accounts and stuff. And there's one that's like, when you find the person, you realize like why it didn't work out with everybody else. And that's exactly how I felt. I was like, I had so much bad luck with love and men in general. And I'm like, okay, I clearly just have the worst taste, or I'm just too nice and fall for people who like, I don't put enough like effort into researching first or something. And so it was really crazy how it happened. We actually met like years ago and, like connected as friends. And then I basically needed a model for my music video. And we had booked another model, and he like last minute day of the shoot flakes, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, like the whole video is like a love song with the guy. And so this guy he didn't really give us a reason, and we're like, he must have got COVID. Like it was during the pandemic, and so because he was like not giving a reason, and I'm like, why can't you make it, like da-da-da. And he's like, oh, I can't be there, I'm so sorry, like I got a flake. And so so the weirdest thing is like, I'm not a model myself. I'm not really in that industry, but like we really wanted somebody that had like a very just attractive, like James Dean almost type look, because it was kind of like a vintage vibes video. And the weirdest thing is that Dom popped in my head because I had met him a few years back, and I was like, well, I do know this one very attractive model guy, and he used to have long hair, like he used to have like long curly hair, and I was like, I know this one guy, but he doesn't really have the right hair for the role. And my director was like, just pull him up, like we need somebody. So I go to pull up his page, and he like actually happened to have cut off his hair, and I was like, oh my god, he just got the perfect look now. He literally has like a James Dean type haircut.
You were like,
And
yes.
yeah, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna, I still have his number, let's see what happens. And so I just text him, and I'm like, hey, like, so like long time no talk, super random, if by any chance you're free today, like I desperately need you because I had another model in my video who flaked. And he happened to be free that day and was like, yeah, I need a little while to get there, but like I can come through. And so we shot that day, and we were kind of in a rush, so we didn't really get to like talk that much, like whatever. It was just like we just shot. But it was definitely chemistry on camera because we're like acting like kind of like in love vibes.
Yeah.
And then I got the edit of the video, and when I got the edit of the video, I was like, no, this is not cutting it, like we need to reshoot another scene. And so my director and I decided, let's shoot another scene, ask him if he can come again. And the next scene that we were going to do, we were like, let's just shoot at the arcade and like the bowling alley and make it like a real fun like date vibe. And so when we were shooting that day, it was like being on a date. And so, but it was like an extra long date because we're trying to get the content for the video. So we're like, we're playing every damn game at the arcade, like bowling for hours. And so like I felt like that day we really got to know each other and connect. And that's a big thing for me. Obviously Dom is a beautiful man, but like I've never been the type of person that it's just looks that draw me in. I have to really have this like mental connection with somebody. And so that second day of shooting, we got to hang out for so long and like talk so much that I was like, okay, I think I'm kind of into this guy. Like we're mentally like on the same page. We're both Virgos, have a lot of similarities. So after that day, we kind of just started hanging out, and then it just like, kept going from there.
I know you were so thankful that model didn't show. You were like,
Yes.
thank you.
It was, but that's what I'm saying. It's like fate, like the way things work out. Sometimes you got to just kind of let like God do his thing, like, and I even told him too, like last year, it might have even been the year before. I swear this whole pandemic has me confused, but I was in Tulum with a girlfriend, and she was like on the phone, like, arguing with her dude or whatever. And I was single at the time. And I remember just like waiting for her to like kind of finish this phone call / like semi argument with the guy. And I was just thinking to myself, like, you know what? I am happy to be single. I am just finally happy to just be single, not have to deal with any relationship drama. And it was like finally when I was in 100% comfortable being alone, that's when I like had like love come into my life, So I think that that's just kind of like what everybody needs to do is just like chill out, not go looking for it so hard. And I think that when you focus on yourself, that love kind of just comes to you at the right time,
I completely agree. They always say that you find the right person when you least expect it. And I really believe that. But for people dating out here, it's rough, let me tell you. So
yeah, in LA especially.
I'm so glad that you found somebody and that you look so happy because like you said, it's not always about looks. And of course, you guys are both a very attractive couple. You look real cute together.
Thank you. But
it's so much more than that, right? Because after a couple days, looks fade. And it's kind of like, all right, so what else do we have to actually talk about, All right. Versace Diaries. I know that you're a fashion girl, Chanel.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know that, you love kind of catching people off guard. You like to surprise people with the things that you do. So what was the inspiration behind this project? Because when people see that name, they're going to be like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so basically it's really funny. I've always loved Versace. It's a huge brand. But I kind of in the past like couple years I realized I'm a petite girl, but I am still curvy, and like their clothes just fit me great. Italian sizes run smaller, so they got like for little people type clothes, but also like they have a lot of like, it's not
Yeah.
like for like the super skinny girl. Like they make stuff for people that have curves as well. And so I started wearing a lot more Versace once I started to realize that their, sizing was just good for me. And I was like, you know what? Like I feel like Versace's kind of my thing. Like I started I was on a hot run wearing Versace. And so me and my friend, we were actually both wearing Versace. We were in the studio with my girl DJ Kitty, who's the producer of the one track, Versace Mommy. And we're like, let's make a Versace song. And so we're like, yeah, it's been a while since, Migos and Drake dropped Versace. Like it's time for another one. And so we started making the song, and then we made that song. We were in Vegas, and then we went on a group trip, like some friends, to Miami. And then Miami's like the Versace like place, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody
It's
there
the
is in
vibe.
Versace. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
vibe. And so we were in Versace again at the studio, and I'm like, yo, like let's make another Versace song, which might have been a little bit alcohol influenced. Because it's like, why make two Versace songs? Like it was just so random.
But why not?
So, yeah, exactly, right? Like why not? So then we made the second song, and so then me and my boy Minus Gravity, we were talking about it. We're like, okay, well, which one should we go with dropping? And it kind of occurred to us like, why don't we make this like a project, where it's just like two Versace songs combined? Like why waste a song? Like they're both really good. And that's kind of how it came about. It was just, naturally wearing Versace, just being in that element of like wanting to make a song about it and being lit at the studio. And it just kind of like fell into place. And the funniest thing is like after we made the songs and videos, we both were on like a Versace run. Like we'd see each other and we're both wearing Versace. And I'm like, dang, we are really owning this.
But it's perfect because it's not like you have to go look for an entirely new wardrobe or a whole new style. You're like, this is me. This is what I've been doing anyway. So it's perfect.
Yes, I mean Versace is such a like colorful brand. I love colorful stuff. What's funny is it's a colorful brand, but also a lot of black, and like that's
Black
I
and
always
gold,
say I'm
super
like
classic.
I'm either in all black or in the brightest colors. There's no in between. So it's kind of just my overall vibe, in a nutshell.
I love that though. I'm like Versace robe, Versace this, it's like you can't go wrong with it though, really, when you think about it. Because it's a vibe, like you said. Miami
exactly.
or not.
I feel like everybody needs to get a Versace robe at some point because they're literally the most durable robes ever.
So who do you have featured on this project?
So on the Versace Mommy song, that actually my girl DJ Kitty, she produced the song, and she's the one who was like telling me and Minus Gravity like, yo, I think you guys should get on this. So she kind of put it together. She was like, like the DJ Khaled of the track. So we got on it first. We actually had another artist on it before. It's a whole long story that I won't fully get into, but they ended up not being on it. So then we were like, we need to replace this verse with somebody new. And my girl Kitty, she's really close with Yauda, who's on the song with us now. And so she was like, yo, my boy Yauda, like he's signed to Rick Ross. He's really dope. I think you'll love him. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like I'm a huge fan of Rick Ross. So if Rick Ross signed him, I'm down. And I went and listened to his music and I was like, yo, like I love him. Like let's do it. So then we put him on the song. And then Versace Robe is me, Minus Gravity, and my boy Justin Love. And it's produced by KE on the track. And that was like supernatural. Like my boy Justin lives in Miami. So like we were like, yo, pull up to the studio. And then he just got on the song too. And it happened so naturally. Like we just all kind of were vibing, having fun. And then like they turned out to be like two really great songs, like the type of songs where it's like, you're not even really trying. And then they just come out dope.
And, it's funny because I actually know Justin.
Oh, you do?
Yes. And the craziest thing is I came across this independent artist whose music I loved. I loved like his tone and his voice. I had been jamming out to his EP for a long time. And anyway, we ended up, getting in touch and meeting. And it turns out I was like, yeah, there's this one artist whose songs I love. And he was like, that's my music. And I was like, oh, I had no idea because you don't show your face. That's super, super dope. I know the records are going to be crazy. He's a great songwriter as well. So
yeah, he is.
I'm so excited for this new project that you have to drop, because I don't know how you find time to do everything, between working on Ridiculousness, the million other projects you have, now being pregnant. On top of that, you're traveling everywhere, still making it to red carpets. I'm like, girl, you're not even
Yeah.
sleeping yet, and you haven't
No,
even had the baby.
I know. No, it's like I really have learned how to like balance things. One of the biggest helps was getting a little home studio set up in my house. That was life changing. Like just saving the time, especially here in LA with traffic, not having to drive to the
Yes.
studio. And a lot of the times the studio's booked up, and it's like, dang, like I was trying to work this day. Whenever you have a studio in your house, you have the freedom to create like whenever you want, and it's just a lot more of a natural flow like that. um so I feel like that was life changing. Back, if you look at season 1 through like 4 of Ridiculousness, I look tired. That's why I feel like there was all these memes made about me, like where I like look crazy, and I'm like, dude, I was sleeping 2 hours after the studio, then going to film. I
Right.
learned that wasn't the best for beauty wise, being on camera. And so I was like, okay, I need to make sure the nights before Ridiculousness, we're not getting in the studio. But then
Right.
the after Ridiculousness, I could go to the studio. Like there's something about just being in the studio that keeps me awake. So even if I woke up to film at 6 a.m., I'm still like, I still got that energy because I'm excited to make a song. But
Yeah.
going in the studio the night before filming, that was like something I just had to X out, because it's like then I look tired on camera.
Right.
So it's like just like a balance thing, and I do go to a lot of red carpets. But for example, if it's a red carpet party that's the night before filming, I might skip that one too, just so I can extra, get my rest and all of that. Um, but yeah, I've just been trying to stay as busy as I can while pregnant. And it's funny because I
Clearly.
feel like, yeah, I'm like I've been hitting the red carpet, with this bump, and I'm like, the funniest thing about that is I joked that before, be like, okay, let me make sure I'm at the right angle where I like look skinniest, and then when you're pregnant, you're just like, well, no angle, you look your skinniest, so you're just
Right.
like bumps out, and it's like it's almost easier to do the red carpet pregnant.
Right, because you don't have to worry about it. You're like, listen, we're
Yeah,
here. We both
yeah,
arrived, okay?
exactly.
And both making a statement. I love that so much. Those recent red carpet pictures that you had, by the way, were stunning. You looked
Thank
so
you.
gorgeous. When they say that moms have a glow, pregnant women, like, it's 1000% true. You looked so good. I wanted to
Thank
compliment
you.
you on that because I was like, yes.
It's all the vitamins you got to take.
And the sleep that you're getting now, right?
Exactly. That and not drinking and smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sober, so
Yeah, that
it's
makes a
like a
difference.
whole. It makes such a difference. I'm like, dang. I'm like, if I'd never drank, I'd probably look like I'm like 12 still, skin wise.
But you know what, though? I mean, it's like they say, you live and you learn. You only get one life, so you have to make the best of it. YOLO, you know?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but, I did want to talk to you about something. So some years ago, I do remember that there was this big old thing in the media. Everybody's got an opinion about everything. Where
Yep.
when you were trying to come out as an artist, I know people were giving you a lot of heat for it. You were getting a lot of criticism. So over the years, because that's a really hard thing to balance. Like for everybody out there that thinks that, being a celebrity is easy and whatever, like it's a lot that you have to go through, a lot you have to deal with, because instead of having a couple people on the day to day, it's millions of people having an opinion
Hmm.
about everything you do. So
Yeah.
what has it meant to you to finally establish yourself as an artist and be respected in that space as well? Especially when, you had to deal with so much turmoil with that for a while. And it was really just people making assumptions. It's not like anyone really had much to stand on.
Yeah. So I just like, because people haven't been in my shoes, it's easier when I've walked in my shoes and seen the places I've been and the people who have basically gave me cosigns. I can't really listen to online hate or hate from somebody who's not even a musician themselves, when I've had people like Will I Am or Lil Wayne or Snoop be like, yo, like you're dope, keep going, ignore people. So it's like when you work in the studio with big heavyweights like that, and they're encouraging you to keep going, it gets a little bit easier to ignore the haters online and the
Right.
haters who just are talking out of their ass, with no knowledge. And a lot of people don't know, I actually kind of got discovered by Rob Dyrdek through my MySpace music page back in the day.
Way
I
back in the day. Whoa, we just went way
literally,
back. You remember the top 8?
oh my God. I remember when I finally could make it like the top like 16 or like 20 or something. And I was like, thank God, because I was stressing over like trying to condense my friends into the top 8. Like, I was like, I remember I had one friend that was like, yo, why am I not in your top 8? I'm like, oh my God, seriously? So,
They used
so
to get
like,
so offended about that. Like, you had that,
yeah.
like, why am I not in your top 8? It's like, chill. It's going to be
I'm like,
okay.
yo, I'm like, not a lot of friends. I'm like, I can't fit all of you in there. But yeah, like I never had a regular MySpace. When I first made a MySpace at like 16, 17 years old, it was a music page. And I just started putting my music up there. And the same way that these kids these days do it on TikTok or Instagram, I did it on MySpace. And so I remember when I met Rob Dyrdek, he actually asked me, he's like, he was like researching my page, I guess. And he was like, how do you have this many friends in 4 months? And I told him, I'm like, I literally sit on MySpace every spare second I'm not working, because I still had like a regular job then. And I'm like, every spare second when I'm not working, I will go home, sit on MySpace, and just add people like, yo, check out my music, white girl rapper. Check out my music, white girl rapper. And like back then, that was like a way more unique thing. There was
Yeah.
not many white girls rapping. And so that was like my little like line I would write and be like, check out my music, check out my music. And one of my tricks was I would go on the top artists, and I would add all the top artists, and then I would add all of their top friends, because I was like, okay, maybe in their top friends will be like their manager or some producer, or maybe it'll be a connection for me. And so that was actually like one of the ways. It's such a long story, so like I'll spare you the whole long story, but to make it short, that's how I found Rob Dyrdek, or he found me. And so he needed a girl for Fantasy Factory, and he needed a girl to basically be the receptionist on the show. And so I think he thought it was funny that I was a rapper and he could call me the rapping receptionist. And so, you know, it came off funny on TV, like, oh, she's the rapping receptionist. Like, what?
Right.
Like, it just sounds hilarious, the title. And
Yeah.
so I think that made it come off like a joke to people. But like, people don't understand, like, I was doing this since I was like, you know, like a kid. And so I've always like kind of saw myself as an artist first. You know, I never wanted to do reality TV or anything like that. But when Rob offered me the job, I literally like, I remember I was like scrounging up change to go to like In-N-Out, and like, and I'm like, I looked over at my like change pile and was like, you know what, I'm going to take this. Like,
This sounds like it
I
might
was
not be a bad
broke.
idea.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, how can I pass up this opportunity? Because I
Right.
really was like against doing reality stuff, just because I had seen at the time, you know, like people like even like Ashley Simpson, who had a reality show on MTV, and then people would try to like tear her down and like, oh, she's not a real artist, da, da, da. So I always knew that like something with reality TV makes people maybe like not take you as seriously as a musician or artist. So I never wanted to do that, but I took the opportunity because, you know, you like they say beggars can't be choosy, and like the money was decent. So yeah, so that's kind of how I fell into TV. And when I know my backstory, and like I know
Yeah.
obviously, like, you know, one interview at a time is people will get to know by you know, listening and reading and hearing about like what my backstory is. So I just try to tell my story as much as possible and just like stay focused. And what I've always done as a hobby, like since I was little, is music. So it's like
Yeah.
I can't stop when it's like it's literally like what I like to do for fun, you know. So nothing that anybody says has ever really deterred me. It's just like fueled me to keep going even more.
Well, what do they say? Opinions are like, for lack of better terms, assholes. Everybody's got one. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
if you're going to talk, might as well talk. It's just, you know, I'm just going to let you do your thing. I mean, because it gets to be overwhelming. I mean, for you, what do you think is the most challenging thing about being in the public eye? Because it's way harder than most people think it is. I mean, I'm sure they look at your page and they're like, her life is perfect. She does really well financially. She's living her best life. But people don't understand, like, there's a lot of long days, a lot of hard work. Like you said, you're barely sleeping. And there's stigma, like you said, attached to, you know, what you do with Ridiculousness and you trying to transition into music and really have that take off. And then on top of that, everybody having an opinion about everything, your nails, your
Yeah.
hair color, what you wear, what you don't wear. It's like, it's got to be so exhausting sometimes.
It is. The hate is like sometimes like you know, it sometimes it's just like hurtful and stressful because it's like, damn, like I'm really out here trying my best,
Mm-hmm.
doing all that I can, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow there's still somebody talking shit. But for the most part, you have to realize that, like, which I've realized as I've gotten older, it goes back to even like when you're a little girl in school, and like your parents or people, adults would tell you like, oh, that boy's teasing you because he actually likes you. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the kind of the same thing. It's like some of these haters are actually your biggest fan, and they're just maybe upset that they're either not in your position, or that they can't really actually get to you somehow. So they
Mm-hmm.
think that a way of getting to you is to say this negative comment, because a lot of times, people like me or like Cardi B every now and then, will snap back. And so like that's just them wanting attention because they're
Yeah.
actually your fan, and they actually want your attention. So the more that I've like kind of grasped that concept, the less the hate gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, like my boyfriend has never had haters online, and like even for him, he was like kind of like overwhelmed by it and was
Yeah.
like, damn, like, and I was like, babe, like I hope this isn't like making you not like be in love with me anymore or something. Like I'm like, you gotta ignore these people, they're just crazies. And
Yeah.
so he's just now getting used to it, because it's like, it's just like, sometimes, like I said, it's just like a little like overwhelming, like damn, like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much hatred. But the more that you just think to yourself like, I've just, these people maybe aren't the happiest, you actually kind of start to feel bad for them, and feel
Mm-hmm.
a little bit better about yourself.
But you know what, though? A great quality that you have, Chanel, is you do not hold back your thoughts and your opinions. So,
No,
so
I don't. I've gotten so much better at that though. Like even
yeah.
I'm like, even watching Kanye go crazy lately, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, when is he gonna learn? Like, you know, like you cannot just go off and say whatever comes to your mind sometimes. And I used to be very much like that, but I've really reeled it in, and I'm like, you know what, like not everything needs to be out there for everybody to know your every single opinion or whatever.
Not everything deserves a response. That's for sure.
No,
I'd be like, I'm
exactly.
too busy to be worrying about what kind of nonsense you're talking about anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So, since we're talking about how your journey got started a little bit, I'm sure a lot of people aren't too familiar with the fact that, you ended up in reality TV in a sense, not expecting for it to take off the way that it did. Because you guys started
Hmm.
out on YouTube, I believe, right? And then got
Wait.
picked up.
Oh,
Ridiculousness.
no. So it's like so crazy because Rob was trying to work on Ridiculousness before Fantasy Factory, and basically I think MTV told him they wanted another show like kind of like Robin Big, where it was more like a
Mm-hmm.
reality style show.
Right.
And so he just continued developing Ridiculousness. And the funniest thing is when it came out, people were like, you guys copied Tosh Point oh, and we're like, dude, have you not heard of America's Funniest Home Videos? Like,
Right.
it's like that's a real OG.
Mm-hmm.
um so he actually had developed that show first. And but yeah, so Ridiculousness was before Fantasy Factory, but we just continued filming Fantasy Factory while he developed that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he asked me to do Ridiculousness, I was just like, I didn't think it was going to even be as big as Fantasy Factory. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
sure, like whatever, I'm down. And like the show just kept getting picked up, and then Fantasy Factory stopped. And I was like, dang, Fantasy Factory's over, but this show's still going. And
You're like, what?
Ridiculousness just became a hit. Like, it's crazy. I honestly, like, during the pandemic when we got picked up again,
Mm-hmm.
especially during that time when I saw like my other artist friends struggling and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, thank you God for putting me on this show. Like,
Yeah.
it's not what I ever mainly wanted to do with my life, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a great job. It's how I pay my bills. And I was just like, I cannot believe that we are still here doing this. And it's still going. Like, we've done 30 seasons now and like over 1,000 episodes.
That's crazy when you think back to where you started and where you guys are now. What was the dream for you as a kid? Did you ever see yourself being where you are today?
As a kid, I always wanted to do music. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
literally, like in middle school, like when you could like kind of pick your electives, every
Mm-hmm.
now and then you wouldn't get what you wanted, but I'd always try to pick like music classes, like, choir, orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
I was always in dance. Like, I did hip hop dance since I was like 7 years old. and drill team and like just anything that had to do with performing. Like that's what I loved to do since I was a kid. So I kind of always just knew I was going to do that. It's very weird. Like I never even thought of like doing anything else. So
So it's still the dream. It was the dream then, and it's still the dream now.
yeah.
I love that. That's crazy. When you go and you look back in time, I'm sure that sometimes it has to feel a little surreal to know that, as a kid, it was your dream to be able to make it and to have a great career. Now that you get to actually do what you love every day, that has to be an incredible feeling.
It really is. Like I've just I don't mean to preach nonstop, but like I literally thank God all the time, and I've also learned that like being grateful and like showing gratitude is what brings more blessings to your life. So I'm just like, sometimes I do, especially like the more success that you get, you kind of get addicted to it, and then you start to be like, oh, I need this, I need more, like, and every now and then I have to be like, calm down. You've like would have never even dreamed of being where you are right now, and you've done so much. So it's like I'm just always trying to just be grateful for where I'm at, because I truly feel like that's going to be like what manifests getting to the next level.
Yeah, which you'll get there too. I mean, one thing about you is you're super resilient and you're extremely persistent. You work really hard. So that's
Thank you.
always a recipe for success. You can't fail. Even if it takes a little longer, you'll get there eventually too, So
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. If you had to describe your journey so far in 3 words, what would they be?
Hard, fun, interesting.
Yeah. Those are good ones. So what's something most people don't know about you? Because we know you're goofy. We know, I mean, obviously you work hard. We know you're interesting. But what is something do you have any cool hidden talents that you haven't told anybody about?
I mean, I don't think any of my talents are hidden. Like my talents have usually revolved around music, and that's what I'm always trying to push the most. So it's like it's not really hidden. I don't know if there's,
You don't have anything like quirky that you do at home? Like something that like most people wouldn't expect, or
I mean, everybody thinks I can't cook because I've said that. I think I made that mistake saying that in the past because I just don't like to cook.
Yeah.
It's just not something I favor. I'd rather just order Postmates.
Right.
But I actually am a really good cook when I put my mind to it. Like that's like
Yes.
I feel like people would never expect that, but like when I really like try, I think I'm pretty good. I think I got my seasoning ratios on point. Like,
That's a big thing now, because I would say if you're not seasoning stuff, you don't know how to cook. So
exactly. Yeah.
Let me clarify for the people in the back. I got my seasoning down to a T, okay? For the critics out there.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's all I can really think of. I mean, I love nature. I don't think people like know how much I like that. Like I love hiking and just like animals and like just being in nature, which obviously I grew up in LA, so you wouldn't like expect that. But even like right now in my backyard, like I'm kind of in the hills, and there's like little bunnies and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I love that. Like I'm in Hollywood, but it still feels such nature vibes,
Yeah. I mean, and you've got a squirrel literally like laying out in your backyards. I mean, I don't think you get that in too many places.
That was so funny.
So, all right. So you've had an incredible career. We've talked about how you've done 1,000,001 things so far. And you're extremely busy. I mean, I honestly don't even know how you balance it from, the show to music to hosting to then you had your own show, California Dreaming, to now all of a sudden, Coastie Swim. What was your vision for the swimwear, and why swimwear of all things you could have gotten into?
Coastie Swim, it really like, it's funny because we've talked about like my fashion, and like I've wore a million outfits on Ridiculousness that are like super cute, like super cute outfits for my music videos, red carpets. But what I noticed, which was so bizarre to me, was that I'll get more comments from girls asking where I got my bikinis. I think I have great taste in bikinis. I love to you got to get the booty shots every now and then for Instagram. And so I started to notice, I'm like, dude, I literally get more comments from people asking where I got my bikini than like anything else I wear. And obviously my name's Chanel West Coast. I grew up in LA. I grew up going to the beach a lot, being at the pool a lot. I'm always like, I love like the water life, like being on lakes and all that. And so I felt like, okay, I love being at the beach. I love being at the pool. And I think I got great taste in bikinis. And from what I see, people are asking about where I got my bikinis more than anything. So I'm like, maybe I should start a swimwear brand. And I think it's also a great thing too, because I was like thinking like, what would be such a great brand to promote while you're still enjoying life? And it's like, what better thing than swimwear, because you can literally be on vacation doing shoots to promote your brand at the same time. And so that was like, I think during the pandemic too, I really was like, thinking about it even more. For years I've wanted to do it, but like I was like so focused on just music, and I had so many gigs, and like you said, like it was kind of hard to balance the schedule. But during the pandemic, when I started to have a little bit more free time, I'm like, okay, now I have some time to focus on this. I started like trying to find manufacturers. I started trying to find other people who I could maybe team up with. And now it's funny, now my boyfriend, he's actually helping me so much with it, because he's got a business degree. He's like really smart on the business side of things. So I didn't go to college or anything like that, so like all the business side of things, like he's got on lock. So he's helping me a lot. And yeah, like basically I just was like, let's do this. I want to make a swimwear line. At first it was like, I want to do everything. I'm like, I want to do baby swimwear, we're like, okay, let's just start off a little bit smaller.
Let's reel it back a little bit.
Yeah, and build. So because I'm doing this like basically like from the ground up. Like I don't have some big company that's like just using my name or something. Like this is really like me doing all the work, and my boyfriend's helping me. And yeah, like it's actually what I spend most of my spare time doing now when I'm not filming or doing music. I pretty much devote all my time to like just trying to build this brand. And like even like from like reaching out on my Instagram personally to swimwear boutiques and to big retail stores. I'm really doing this like myself. So I'm excited. Like I'm the most excited about this out of anything like I think I've done in a while.
That's so cool, though. For everybody out there, if you want to go check it out, make sure you head to coastyswim.com. You have some really amazing styles. They're real cute. They got some little ruffles and everything, and a cute little cut in the back.
Yes.
Are they like Brazilian cuts, some of them, too? I see they're kind of high-waisted. Super flattering.
Yes. They're very flattering. And so we only have a couple designs right now, but we're going to have like a ton more soon. Like I said, we're starting off small and like really building. But also our sizes do not run super small. Like there's a couple brands, I won't say the names because obviously like I'm a fan of them, but there's some swimwear brands I'm a fan of. And like I'm a small petite person, and like some of these brands got me in like a medium and like large tops sometimes. And I'm like, yo, if I'm in a large, what's like a girl like a little bit bigger than me wearing? I'm like, the sizing is for like skinny stick models. And I did not want to do that. I'm like, I want to have sizing that fits like everyone. And so our extra small is more like a small. Our small is more like a medium. So our sizing runs like a little bigger. It's for like, we go up to extra large right now, but like I said, it runs a little bigger. So extra large is more like an extra large. And it's more for like, we want to have a couple cute cheeky ones, but also have body styles that are flattering for people who aren't like sticks. You know what I'm saying?
And developing an all-inclusive brand, which is what it's about. That's where you create longevity, which I'm super excited about. I love that for you. That's so great.
And we're all eco-friendly too. All of the bikinis are made from recycled materials, so it's like 100% eco-friendly. Like it's a very green green swimwear brand.
Which, so you guys know, you have to go support it. coastyswim.com, and that's COASTY swim.com. And you can check out the styles. I think you have the option for people to subscribe, so you guys know about all the new drops first, so you get them before they sell out. And like she says, she's going to have some new styles coming soon, so that's going to be super, super exciting coming into spring.
Yes.
Before we head out, Chanel, we were talking about our little confessions game that we play on the show. You ready for it?
Yes, I think so. I hope so.
Knowing you, I'm sure the answers are going to be hilarious.
Okay.
What's wrong but sounds right?
What's wrong but sounds right? Ooh. Uh, oh man, that's a tough one. I guess swimming naked. That's not wrong though.
Yeah, it's really
That's
not
right.
though. That is right. That
I
is a
don't
good.
know. I just looked at the pool and was like skinny dipping. I'm like, I don't know.
Skinny dipping always sounds good. What was the last photo you took?
The last photo I took was of my dog on the couch because he looked so freaking cute right before we got on this call.
Cute. And if we wouldn't have been on the call, it probably would have been the squirrel for sure.
Yeah, no, that squirrel just laying there. Oh my God. I'm like, dude, that was so funny.
That was everything. When was the last time you immediately regretted something you said?
Oh man. I mean, dude, that's like on a daily basis. That's hard. Because, we talked about this. I just like say what's on my mind. I think I like brought up like my like ex-boyfriend on like an episode of Ridiculousness. And I immediately was like, why the hell did I just mention that guy? Like, so yeah.
Gave him his 2 seconds of fame.
Exactly. I'm like, what am I doing?
What's the dumbest thing someone has argued with you about?
The dumbest thing someone's argued with me about. I don't know. I mean, probably. Dang, that's a hard one. I mean, me and my mom were just arguing this morning about something dumb, and my boyfriend was like, "You guys, this conversation is irrelevant. I can't even remember what it was." we were like arguing about I can't remember. It was like something to do with real estate stuff.
That's awesome. Would you rather have Beyonce's talent or Jay-Z's business acumen?
Oh, that's a tough one. Dang. I think Beyonce's talent, just because with that talent you're gonna have great businesses anyways. So I just wish I had I don't know what she does with her lungs, because to dance and sing at the same time, I've tried doing what I heard she did, which is running on the treadmill and singing. It does help. Still haven't made it to that point where I don't get out of breath dancing and singing at the same time. So I think I'm going to say Beyonce's talent.
Beyonce for the win. What would you do if you could live forever?
If I could live forever?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a hard one though. It's like, can everybody live forever or just me?
That's a good question. I think about that.
If it was just me being able to live forever, I'd like to be like a shaman, giving everybody advice like, yo, you got to do this. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Listen to me. I've lived forever. If I wasn't the only, if I wasn't the only one living forever, then I'm not really sure, because I think I'd have competition of people who think they know everything too.
Right. And I'd be like, listen, if I was living forever, I need to stay young. That would be a one requirement I'd have to have. Like, I can't look like I've lived forever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I love that. Chanel, it's been so much fun getting to speak with you. I love the fact that you're still working so hard, while you're waiting on your baby to come, and that you're staying so committed and persistent in the things that you love. Because a lot of times when you get caught up in entertainment, it can really change a person. And I really love that you've still stayed true to who you were through and through, beginning to end, period.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, 100%. And we already know these new songs are going to be dropping. When can everybody expect Versace Diaries to be available?
On Friday, this Friday.
The 14th. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. Can people
videos
pre-order
are coming
it?
out too. Yes, you can. I think you can already pre-order it, which I should probably post that link like today. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, the videos will be dropping on Friday as well. And the videos are like super fun. I know that you know Justin, so you'll really like it, because I even told him, I was like, Justin, you look like a superstar in these. Like, this is your best work.
Yeah.
So like, I think that they're just really fun videos. You could tell that it was like a group of friends just like living their best lives in them. And I think that the overall vibe, like, people are just gonna want to watch it. It's the type of videos you want to put on while you got like a little house party going on.
And that's what it's about. Living life and having the best time too. So you guys already know the 14th. Mark your calendars. Go pre-order the new project, Versace Diaries. Head over to Coastie Swim. Get your new swimwear because you can still look sexy in the winter. Okay, there's lots of tropical places still available out there, even if it's cold.
Exactly.
And if not,
Some of
people
the
can
best
be
tropical places are
right.
where you should go during the winter. You know, like it's actually better weather sometimes during the winters. Like they're off hurricane season.
Right. minor detail. Or you can be like Kendall Jenner and just, cop a cute little bathing suit, go outside in the snow and take a dope picture for Instagram. I'm just saying. So there's options out there.
I don't know how she does it. I'm like, I can't. That's that top model life,
Top model life, which I know nothing about.
Yes. Same.
Kudos to everybody. Unfortunately, I like food.
They'll have them doing shoots in the snow naked, and I'm like, I would die.
Literally, like I can't do it. I need a heater, but then it would defeat the purpose of the snow. So anyway,
exactly.
It's been so wonderful talking to you, Chanel. Hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up really soon. And make sure you guys don't go anywhere. We'll attach those links and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Abbie Knights Show.